What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the Puerto Rican Conservative. And today we're going to be talking about a brief moment in the history of U.S. politics known as the Republican Revolution of 1994, best described as the Gingrich Revolution, and why I believe Democrats are presently trying to apply the same concept in their 2018 campaign, hoping to turn the tide on the GOP come November's midterm election. I'm also going to be discussing the role that the intersectionality movement plays in this political strategy and how the walkaway and red pill movements of today can easily turn into a negative for the GOP come November's midterm election. This and many more interesting talking points today on Tracing the Facts.
Hey, yo, I love when cats think they're bigger than a sumo. That's when I hit them with a little Puerto Rican judo. Oh, you don't know what that is. That's when I say.
Almost 42 years, the left held a monopoly on the House of Representatives. And it wasn't until Newt Gingrich, who at the time was a congressman, drafted a campaign message targeting Bill Clinton's credibility as president, that the GOP took control of the House and decimated the Democrats, picking up 54 seats in the House of Representatives, 472 legislative seats, 12 gubernatorial, and 9 in Senate, costing the Democrats more than 20 states. Now, the strategy was simple. Rather than campaign independently in each district where most of the local representatives were no-name, novice politicians, they chose to rally behind a national campaign message co-written by Newt Gingrich, which included an alternative to Clinton's policies in the form of a document known as Contract with America. The document was a fusion of ideas that extended from both Ronald Reagan's 1985 State of the Union address and the Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank. The contract was then introduced less than 6 weeks before the congressional election, signed and agreed to by every Republican member of Congress minus 2. Now, what made this move revolutionary is that it guaranteed that specific legislations detailed in the document would be passed if the American people simply voted Republicans in as the new majority. And it worked. Unfortunately, now in 2018, more than 44 House Republicans have announced that they're either retiring or running for another office. That's almost the same number of seats being vacated as the number the GOP gained in 1952 after the Gingrich Revolution. It also means that 44 politicians campaigning for these seats in favor of the right will most likely be newcomers to the scene, bringing us back to the same risk that led to the Republican Revolution in the first place. Also note that after the 2016 presidential election, after Trump won, the left activated and began to weaponize intersectionality to delegitimize Trump in the eyes of the international community, using nothing more than information warfare. Let's remember that Hitler's propaganda minister, Paul Joseph Goebbels, was quoted as saying, "If you repeat a lie often enough, people will believe it, and even you will believe it yourself." Now, for 2 years, you've heard all of the labels used to counter Trump's policies and delegitimize him in the eyes of the international community. Trump's a racist when he said we needed to build a wall. Trump's an Islamophobe when he asked for the same exact 7-country ban that was granted to Obama after it was discovered that 2 Iraqi terrorists had entered America through Obama's refugee program, and their fingerprints was traced all the way back to improvising explosions. Trump's a xenophobe when he quoted a census held by Pew Research showing that 90% of women crossing the U.S.-Mexico border were raped. And a homophobe when he refused to allow the Army to continue using taxpayer dollars for sexual reassignments. In less than 2 years, ideological subversion has convinced the right to embrace same-sex advocates, African-American documented race baiters like Candace Owens, transgenderism, identity politics, and political scapegoating. If these, along with the deliberate encouragement of red pill and walkaway Trojan horses, aren't the ideological ingredients needed to nurture the successful ideological implosion of the right before 2018 midterm election, I don't know what is.